Hey mob, it's been a while since I've done a video, and the idea behind this video is, what does rock bottom look like, and what does it take to even get back up again? My whole life has changed since coronavirus started, and the whole world has changed. In January, February, I was on the path to preparing to spend the year working towards my black belt in jiu-jitsu, had a year of competitions lined up, and I had just quit my job and I was on track to have my best year in business yet. And then COVID hit and all my gigs got cancelled, all my school events got cancelled, and jiu-jitsu got cancelled, and the whole year just stopped. Initially, I was okay. I kind of just took it all in my stride and sat with the shock of it. And then I used the time to come home to country to be with my kids who no longer live in Melbourne. They live on country with their dad. And just kind of fumbled through the first lockdown. But then when lockdown lifted, I went back to Melbourne. I was getting ready to go back to the school where I work at, and I was looking for ways to, I guess, reopen my business and create new opportunities. And then less than 2 weeks later, there were rumours of a new lockdown, and I wasn't sure what to do. And then when the news of the second lockdown came, stage 4 restrictions, I decided to leave Melbourne and come home to be with my kids and my family during this time. And it's kind of just passed in a daze, and it's only been in the last week or so that I've really realised the ups and downs that I've had, and I've been able to take the time to reflect on my current situation, but the energy and my mental and my heart state as well. And I fell into a depression. I let the circumstances and the overwhelm and the lost feeling kind of just take me under. And even though I've kept taking some steps towards making sure that I still had some sort of income, I've applied for a job which I've been fortunate enough to get, but I'm now in a position where I'm moving out of Melbourne. I'm moving back home to be closer to my kids. Jiu-jitsu doesn't look like it's going to be an option for a while yet in terms of competing, and I'm pressing pause on my dreams for a little while. And I guess when I first got home, my car died. So my current circumstances is that my car has died. I have no car. I'm sharing my parents' car. I'm living in the back of my parents' bungalow, a concrete sheeting bungalow. Well, this might be beautiful weather, but it's when there's no insulation and the weather starts to get hot, it's quite uncomfortable in that space. I'm used to having my own space, and I don't have that right now. I'm used to having jiu-jitsu. I don't have that right now, and my business is starting to do okay again, but I really have had to sit with I guess where I'm starting from now, and kind of where my current situation is. Because even at the start of the year, I really thought this would be my year, that it would be my breakthrough year. I have been working so hard for the last 5 to 6 years to build a presence on social media, to build a story worth telling, and to build the storytelling skills to share that story, to inspire and empower people to believe in their own potential, to believe in their power to rise up, and to raise their aspiration levels for themselves and what they're capable of. And I really thought that I'd done enough to tip the scales in my favour, that this year opportunities would start coming to me. I wouldn't have to keep hustling. And I kind of had this expectation in my mind that soon things would tip in my favour, and I'd really start to kind of get ahead rather than living in this struggle space. Because for the last 5 years we've kind of lived on the edge, where some weeks I haven't known if I'm going to be able to put food on the table. I've been put in situations where I have had to choose between buying my kids' school books and going to World Championships, because I've always had a lot of support from my family and whatnot, but financially most of my career has been self-funded, or 90% of it. And I really thought that this year would be the tipping point, but then COVID hit and I realised we have no financial stability. I had no money saved up because I was investing everything, time and energy into my jiu-jitsu career, hoping to make that mean something. And after seeing Cathy Freeman's documentary come out last week and hearing about her moment that inspired a nation, I realised I've been working towards having my own kind of moment that creates that legacy and that story piece to inspire others. And it's been really hard. I'm not making this video to gain sympathy, but to share my truth as I often do and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like I've hit rock bottom, but I haven't. Like, some things are so much better, and then other things. But what's been helping me is by sitting with this and allowing the truth to come up, rather than hiding from it, or rather than trying to force my mind into positivity or forcing it to be something that it's not. And sitting with it in all its ugliness. I'm disappointed. I'm overwhelmed. I feel lost. I feel lost in myself and disappointed that as a parent, as a mum, I've left my kids with no financial stability. As I said, we have no car. We're living with other people, but we have a roof over our head, and we have a car that we're sharing with our parents. But it's been tough, knowing that something I've invested so much into has kind of not yielded the results, I guess, that I would have wanted it to. But at the same time, every day, 2 or 3 times a week, I come to this and I go for a walk, and then I make time to sit. And on one particular spot on the walk, there's this, across the river, there's this, so I'm on Latchi Latchi country, and across the river is Barkindji country. It's that's my ancestors' country. And there's this sign, there's this block of land, couple of acres for sale, right on the river. And it's always been a dream of mine to be able to buy a piece of my ancestors' land with money that I've earned, to be able to wake up each day to this view and be able to walk outside and put my feet in the water that my ancestors have since time immemorial. And another dream that I've always held, amongst the many dreams that I have, is to be able to buy a rural property on the river, and to be able to create a social enterprise and cultural camps for young kids to be able to reconnect with themselves, to learn life skills, and to create an experience that they'll never forget. And it's been walking past that sign 2 or 3 times a week that's kind of kept that little nugget of hope and faith that I can rise up out of this situation. That majority of it I've created, and then some of it is COVID related. But one lesson I've really had to learn is accepting things as they are rather than how I want them to be, whilst maintaining, I guess, my sense of self-determination to be able to do the work necessary to put myself in a position to rise above these circumstances. And accepting things as they are rather than how I want them to be, and having that vision has been a balancing act of going, well, this is the life I want to live, but this is the reality of the life that I have right now. So I've been sitting with myself a lot, really trying to understand where I'm at, what is the current reality, and what is it the reality that I want to work towards now that my life has kind of changed directions. How do I create the foundation and the opportunities I need to have in place to be able to make my vision and my dreams a reality, so that when jiu-jitsu and traveling and competing become an option again, that I have the financial resources and the time resources that I need to be able to train as an elite athlete, but I'm ensuring that my children aren't left at a financial disadvantage because I'm pursuing that bigger dream, and understanding how that dream supports the vision that I have to work in my community and build something that can do some good in my community. And then it's through those self-reflections and just looking at my past and looking at when have I been here before? What have I done in the past to overcome situations when I've hit rock bottom before? And I've been able to build this evidence base of times that I have overcome difficult situations that either I've caused or through my own actions or lack of action, or just life events that have happened to me and I've just had to find a way to respond. And that's probably the biggest thing I'm taking out of COVID, is that for now, at least for the next couple of years, it's about accepting where I'm at in life, whilst ensuring that I'm working on myself and working towards creating the foundation to be able to take those opportunities when they come to build a successful business, to ensure that my children have a solid financial basis and stability, that they can count on me to be there for them when they need it, and that I'm working towards achieving those dreams of creating a social enterprise here in Mildura to support young people and employment and development opportunities. And I guess what I kind of wanted to end with was that through this process I've had to learn to focus on what is my current situation, what's the reality, what are the things that I need to do to set things in place. So right now I'm working in a short-term contract in a job within education in the community that's allowing me to support my family financially. It's allowing me to reconnect to the community, to the young people, to the education department here in Mildura, and doing something that I love, that I'm good at, is providing a sense of purpose and focusing on what it does provide for me. Whilst in the background I'm working on my business, I'm working with a business coach, I'm taking some time off from social media to focus on myself and understand what are the skills I need to be able to progress my business. I'm doing 3 different courses towards my business. One is Murra Business School, the other is Thought Leaders Business School, and then I'm working on a content and creation course to better understand my branding strategy and what it is that I can put out into the world that people will find beneficial and valuable. And whilst I get out of my own head and connect to country, and I see that for sale sign every time I go for this walk, and I take the time to hug the big grandmother trees that I see that have seen more lifetimes than I can live in one, and focusing on that vision and maintaining hope, but maintaining commitment and focus on that dream and that vision whilst living in the reality as it is, has really helped my mindset. It's helped my heart set. And for me, the difference between mindset and heart set is when I'm in my mind, I can sometimes be focused. I can sometimes gain control of my thoughts and the noise that sits there. But sometimes the world, the noise, the everyday challenges of life, of my trauma and just other things seem to take over. Whereas when I take a big deep breath and on those kind of days and I come back to spots like this and I just breathe and I sit in the sand or I go for a walk, I find that I can get out of my head and back into my heart, and I can ask myself the question of what's happening for me in this moment and what's my priority in this moment. Like, what is one thing that I can do in this moment or today to be able to continue, I guess, to grow and nurture those dreams and those possibilities, while also being able to nurture and focus on my wellness in the moment, because I know that by doing that, that allows me to show up for my family, for my kids, and it makes the possibility and the potential of my dreams within reach. And I'm focusing on what's possible as opposed to what's not possible. Because as I said, there's so many things that are out of my control right now. There's so many things that are without my reality. So just wanted to share those thoughts with you. I hope you're maintaining yourself during this time, and it's okay to hit rock bottom. And for me, I'm just feeling my way back up. And it's owning my story, it's owning my situation, but it's also finding that passion and that purpose again, but also connecting with that evidence base that I have that it is possible. Big love, you mob, and would love to hear from you if you got anything out of this.